Hi, so this is about the research that I did for SOTL. I was looking at AI use in chemistry courses. I did an observational study involving the use of AI as a supplemental program in 3 separate chemistry courses. The application of AI was basically highly encouraged, as generative AI has the potential to assist students in basically scaffolding the information necessary to master the necessary learning objectives. In addition to the exercises performed with the use of varying forms of generative AI, ChatGPT, and DeepSeek, all 3 classes met in a traditional format. Therefore, AI was kind of supplemented outside of the class. It had the potential to enhance the material that was taught in the class itself. So the material was initially covered through lectures and lecture guide and active learning, collaborative active learning assignments that we do in class. My introductory chemistry class, 092, had no lecture videos, whereas my general and organic chemistry class had pre-recorded YouTube videos, which we worked on with the lecture guide. The AI was used again as a supplement to individualized learning to aid in synchronous collaborative exchanges. AI also aided the student in developing presentation skills within a group setting. And finally, AI was used for tutoring to generate quizzes and tests by the students to prepare for my exams. The first example occurred with an introductory course of chemistry, the 092 class, as they were learning unit conversions and dimensional analysis, where they asked ChatGPT to give them 1 and 2 and 3-step problems that had to do with length, volume, mass, and time. A lot of these skills are necessary for nursing students to do drug conversions later on. It's a foundational skill. In the example of scaffolding, the students were led to ask the chat box to convert English to metric in 1 step, and then 2-step and 3-step. The PDF generated by AI was saved and the students' work was submitted. The results showed that the 3-step generated exercises actually had random number of 1-step and 2 steps, but failed to produce any 3-step problems. The second assignment was in an organic chemistry course where we had just finished looking at the synthesis of polymers, and the student was wanting some real-world application. And we looked at polymers in the environment, in particular polyethylene, and the exercise took about 10 minutes to do. The third example was in a generative chemistry course, involved using interactive generative AI supplemented with an active learning assignment where I broke the class into 2 groups, and they were asked to talk about molecular orbital theory and hybridization theory, and they were graded individually for their results based on their originality and their understanding of those theories. That exercise took about 25 minutes. When the exercise later moved a couple weeks later to solving redox reactions in acids and bases, which we covered in lecture, using the lecture guide, the general chem students sought more examples by using ChatGPT and noticed that the answers, which usually take about 10 steps to solve, were incorrect. So we ended up solving the problems in a tutoring session and throwing them in the group chat so people could see what the answers were. The 5th example of using DeepSeek, which is a Chinese AI platform, the general chemistry students generated a practice exam covering the learning objectives in a multiple choice format. The students used AI to write up the practice exams covering the topics that we had covered in class. They shared the practice assessment with each other, and those that studied did well. The perception of the students' AI usage came out in their portfolio, where they had comments like, quote, "If AI is such a great tool, we would not need schools." Another comment, "It's an extremely addictive replacement for work, and it's often wrong when answering questions about chemistry and math." In a question about their order of preference, the students wrote that their learning style tended to like lecture guides first, with the videos, the active learning next, and finally AI. When asked if AI helped to understand concept, they wrote, yes, it helped explain things in more depth, but it was sometimes wrong, but most of the time I would correct it and it would do better to explain broad topics to me. The order of usefulness was stated unanimously after lecture guide, active learning, and finally AI, except for one student who placed AI after, or placed my videos after AI. Not sure how well they did. Overall, the exercises were an effective way to have students work collaboratively. The students did express their appreciation for working in groups and said that they were really going to miss going to chemistry class when the class was over because they had developed such strong relations with each other. I think the students appreciated the ability to catch AI making errors. They were exposed to a lot of information that was covered in lectures in a scaffolding way, kind of simplistically going to more complex ideas. I think they learned how to write prompts, and they interacted with AI while sharing the knowledge together. They also customized their learning using the DeepSeek, potentially increasing their foundational learning, which could potentially help them in problem-solving skills that they would need for their final exam, which they took today. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of how to use AI. I know I'll probably be using it again, if not just to test its capabilities. Thank you.